Hi. So I don't necessarily know how to start a video like this. I've never necessarily gotten this personal about myself or what's going on in my personal life, you know. In fact, there was this fear of actually showing you what I go through in my life, just personally. And I feel like there was just, I don't know if it was like a pride or like a bondage or something around me, because I don't know. And there was some fear around sharing this stuff with you guys. It's been 8 years that I've been dealing with this particular thing. And I feel the Lord is like, it's time for you to share this with the world, and it's time for you to share this with other women, especially women that are, late 20s, early 30s, and that have been dealing in silence, that have been suffering in silence, but also seeing another side of this particular thing where it's not all doom and gloom and sadness and whatnot. You can actually truly really have a good life with what I'm about to share. Okay, I'm just not gonna hold up. I have been battling endometriosis for approximately 7 to 8 years of my life now. Yeah. And I don't know why this is making me cry. I think it's just a part of the vulnerability that I am not used to showing. And there had been a lot of fear placed around this for me in my mind. I've been through the what ifs. I've been through all of it. I've asked the questions. I've done all of it. I've gone through everything. So I have a list of things that I'm pretty sure you guys might want to talk about, might want to hear about, you ladies might want to talk about and hear about, and we're going to talk about it now. So everything started back in 2017 when I had just finished my cycle, and I was still feeling pain, like I was still on my cycle. Like I would feel pain in my back and my hip on my right side. Yeah, my hip on my right side. And I remember going to the doctor and in pain and talking to her like, this isn't normal. Like, I know something is wrong. This is not right. Because up to that point, I would just, like, the cramps would just be just annoying. I was still able to do things that I needed to do, but they would just be more or less more annoying than good, which cramps are never good. So yeah. So back in 2017, this is when all this started, early 20s. That's when this whole journey started. I was getting ultrasound after ultrasound because they weren't necessarily sure of what this was. Now, I'm the type of person that does their own research, and I was researching everything, like, okay, PCOS and yes, endometriosis and whatnot. And I was like, this aligns more with the endometriosis and but I had not necessarily gotten the official diagnosis. I'm just gonna break this down to you. The journey started back in 2017, and I didn't get a full diagnosis until 2022. Okay, but I still had endometriosis. I hope you guys, a lot of the endo girls, y'all know how it is. It's like it takes us about approximately 10 years to get a solid diagnosis. I beat y'all 8. Anyway, so that's literally when everything started. I was still going to different doctors, going to different OBs. This one OB I'm pretty sure this is normal for a lot of you ladies. They try to, and this is going to be like TMI, okay? They blame it on everything. Like, is it just your stress? Is it anxiety? Maybe this just sounds like IBS. This wasn't no damn IBS. I'm like, I was getting the run around for years, and then they would put me just on really strong ibuprofen. Then my stomach became extremely sensitive to ibuprofen, so I can't take ibuprofen no more. Journey to actually get a diagnosis was a lot. I mean, yeah, of course the bloating is normal. Yeah, of course cramps are normal, but the intensity of these cramps, I mean, this is vulnerability, y'all. Like, to the fact that you feel like there's a possibly, like, it feels like a barbed wire. Whatever a barbed wire looks like is how it would feel in my uterus. But also on certain days, for me, now I'm talking kind of fast forwarding, like today, days 3 to 5 are the worst. This is a lot for me to talk about, because sometimes it does feel like somebody's literally taking their hand and squeezing my uterus. Like my uterus feels like it's straight up throbbing. And it just cut off. It's fine. Anyway, no, what I was saying was the intensity of these cramps. It's like I wouldn't even wish on all my enemies. I would not wish this pain on any of my enemies, right? And that's how bad it is, right? That's just kind of what I'm dealing with. That's just kind of what I've been so quiet about and been in a lot of fear to speak on. But now I can talk to you about the good part, getting the diagnosis. Now, when I got the diagnosis, it was strange. It was through an ultrasound, and that's rare. I know that that's a very rare thing. Most of the time you have to get a surgery done, but in order to get a clear diagnosis, they have to literally do like a laparoscopy where they go through your uterus. They take a scope and they go through your belly button, and then they go through your uterus, and then they're literally looking to see if there is endometriosis, and then they start scraping, like either burning the endometriosis off or literally cutting it out. Okay, it was through an ultrasound, and I knew that was the Lord. How they saw it and how everything went that day. I ended up having to be like, literally, I had gone to get the transvaginal ultrasound and an abdominal ultrasound, like both, that morning. And then I get a call from my doctor because they thought it was, I'm not going to get into what they thought it was, but they were like, okay, we need you to go to ER now. And I'm like, first of all, I'm like, what the hell? Like, I'm freaking out. I'm scared. I don't know what's going on. So I'm like, my mother actually takes me to the ER. Yeah, this was 2022. This was definitely 2022. I'm all right. We're all good. We're just going to keep talking through it because this is a lot for me to talk about. And I'm in there and I'm nervous that I got to get surgery. I'm nervous I got to get all this stuff done. I might talk about why this is kind of a lot for me later. Not right now, but this is enough. This is enough vulnerability for you. But I'm talking to the OB in there, and she's like, I'm not buying that this is what that doctor said it was. I don't know where this cut off, so we're just going to keep going. The tech was like, she's like, well, the OB, she was like, I'm not buying what the tech or the doctors were saying. I'm not buying that. So she was like, we're going to repeat it. We're going to repeat it. We're going to repeat the ultrasound, and it was a whole thing. But I asked her, I said, what do you think it could be? She said, this sounds more like an endometriosis. This does not sound like what the, not x-ray tech, but the ultrasound tech, the people that look, what he thought it was. And it just, everything just aligned right there. I just knew. And something that y'all may know about me or may not know about me is I'm a woman of God. I'm a woman of faith. And this is something that the Lord had been telling me that I have, right? And I know we're talking about this like the whole journey, but just getting into the faith aspect of things, like the moments where I was asking God, how come, like, you took this away, you took that away. Like, I have a slew of testimonies and healings in my body that God just removed. Okay, like it's so funny that I'm saying the woman with the issue of blood, because technically, and in those moments I touched his garment and it left. And in this moment, he's like, my grace is sufficient for you. So one time I was, something y'all gonna know about me is like I get a lot of revelation in the bathtub when I'm just praying, and that's my time to be alone, like, you know. And I just remember, literally, I'm like, God, what is this? I'm like, you took this away, you took this away, but you didn't take this away. I'm like, why? He's like, yes, it is. And something that you guys need to know about me is, like, I'm able to, like, I do operate in the spiritual giftings, and I can hear the Lord. And he was like, yeah, this is what it is. And I had gotten the revelation in my spirit. He was like, yeah, this is what this is, but I'm going to use it for my glory. And I don't have the same fears. And I don't say this to gloat. I do not have the same fears that a lot of people have about this. The fear right now is just necessarily just, and I'm just going to be honest, being judged for some reason. It's weird. I'm trying to think of a way to say this. Like, I do not fear the future in regards to children, because if God says that I will have babies, I'm going to have babies. God is the ultimate healer. He is the ultimate redeemer. I do not fear that. You know, I try to stay away from the gloom and doom. Do I have issues in regards to all this? Yes. Do I have my bad days? Do I have bad weeks? Absolutely. You know, with who doesn't? You know, as far as, you know, this endometriosis and the pain and the cramping and sometimes the joint pain and whatnot. But most of my life, we're going to get cyclically, okay? Follicular phase, ovulatory, and we'll say the beginning of the luteal, I'm able to function and move around. There are moments where in my ovulatory phase, I am feeling like cramping, but the intensity is not as strong, praise God. It's not. Here, I feel like I passed a lot of stuff. I feel like I jumped, but let's just keep going. Okay, I think we just need to flow here. Yeah, let's just flow here. Okay, now I feel like I want to talk about, you know, the treatments. Like, grab some tea, grab a snack, because this is about to get extremely personal. And yeah, anyway, I've been on a slew of oral contraceptives for this, you know, trying to, pain management, trying to lighten the periods, all that kind of stuff, right? But the first two were okay, but I didn't like it because I was gaining weight. I didn't like that. Plus, it's a bunch of synthetic hormones literally being pumped into my body, plus all the other risks of those things. Now, did it, for a lot of people, a lot of women did not have this experience. Some are like, oh, hell, this doesn't work at all. They did manage the pain. That's the thing. Like, it managed the pain to the point where, you know, I didn't have a period anymore, and it was great, right? It was great, but I didn't like the mood swings. I didn't like the weight gain. I didn't like how I was physically feeling, and I was just like, it wasn't worth it. Would I do an IUD? Hell no. Pardon my French. No. Would I do the NuvaRing? Would I do the one thing that you put in your arm? No, I would not, because it's the same thing. Plus, the IUDs sound extremely dangerous. I don't feel comfortable having something copper or plastic in my body for 3 to 6 months out of a year, or years. I just don't feel comfortable with that stuff in my body. I just really don't. So now what I'm doing, like, what am I, like, so, girl, what are you doing now? What are you doing now? Grab some tea, because you're about to find out. Right now, I'm focusing my eyes on my body, on my nutrition. Now, I used to, when I would say back in 2022, I was eating more, starting in 2022, started to eat more plant-based, okay? I was doing, fruits, vegetables, oats, water, honey, agave, like that kind of thing. I had to stop drinking coffee because my body had built like a tolerance, like a weird tolerance to it, so I stopped drinking that. And then I would say last year around back in 2022, yeah, I was dealing with a lot of stuff. Yeah, no, I was dealing with, back in 2022, not getting into this, but gonna talk about it because it's important. I was dealing with a lot of church trauma. I'm not saying church hurt. They love to hide behind that. Church trauma, stuff that was done from some staff members of that church. I'm not going to be quiet about that no more. And sneak around it. No, they were the ones who did it. And just, other personal dramas in life. And I just kind of spiraled in regards to my eating. Like, I'm not even gonna lie, my weight was going down. I was starting to look real good. To my standard, I was looking really good. I was lifting weights. It was getting great, right? And then I just started to just spiral down a little bit. But now that I'm free from a lot of that stuff, I'm taking better care of my body now. I'm getting healthier. I'm back on, I'm back eating my raw diet. Now there are some times where I do have to eat some forms of poultry certain times of the month. Ladies, if you know, you know. For the iron purposes, I do have iron pills, but I do feel like sometimes I do need a little bit more meat around that time. And dark leafy greens, I drink those so that I can get more iron in my body, because at the time, ladies, we're losing a lot of it. So that's kind of what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing now, and I do feel a lot better, but I'm still having I'm having longer prolonged periods. And like I said, I believe earlier on, from the days from the 3rd to the 5th day, no, it's not a good time. It's not a good time. But after that, I start to get my smile back. I start to feel like me again. And I begin to be able to function again, But I do, and I truly believe this, ladies, and if there are any guys watching, we have to do things according to our cycles. I think there's a lot of women that are catching on to cycle syncing and whatnot. Doing things, living life according to their cycle, like according to the follicular, even we're down to working out. Okay, like for me, I don't work out on my menstrual week at all because it's too painful. I'm in the bed, I'm sitting on a couch, I'm sitting in the car. I'm not doing it. This is getting upsetting. It just keeps cutting off. It's slightly pissing me off, but we're all good. All of that being said, this channel is now dedicated to the journey of healing endometriosis. This is my journey with healing my body naturally, and through faith and through self-love and self-care and fitness and food, of endometriosis. This is not going to be a sad channel. This is not going to be, like, if you're watching on Instagram, this is not going to be a sad place. Of course, I'm going to be talking about it, and you're going to see the ups, you're going to see the downs, one day you're going to see me like being able to move and run around and jump and do crazy stuff, okay? Like, are you sure? And then there are gonna be days where you're just gonna hear me talking in the bed. You know, there are gonna be times where you see me behind the scenes working and just moving. And then there are gonna be days where you see me in the bed with a heating pad and tea and watching A Marriage Story, because I love almost every single... You don't need to know that part of me yet. But anyway, see it all in regards to that. This is like a vulnerability journey, because for me, that is a very difficult thing for me to share. This is me stepping out on like a faith. This is my new faith walk. This is my new faith journey. And is it scary? Abso-freaking-lutely. Telling you guys that whole, like, my whole testimony and my journey with this. And it felt like how do I say this? I'm trying to say it how I'm feeling it, how I'm hearing it. It was a lot for me to share because of everything that I had gone through in the last, like, 4 years of my life. And I can't believe, like 30-something, be 30 this year. So basically 30-something years living, feeling like fear of being judged, fear of people talking about you again, and fear of this and fear of that, and fear of... But my thing is, since I've been here pretty much approximately 30 years of my life, I should know that people are gonna say, like I was saying before I got so gracefully cut off, like I said, approximately 30 years on this earth. I should know at this point that, especially, I came from ministry, my own ministry, 4 years, and very grateful for that time. How do I say this? People, what they say about you negatively shouldn't bother you, and what people say positively about you shouldn't bother you. What do you believe about yourself? Who does God say you really are? What has been your track record? You know, what are your fruits? You know, something that I feel like the Lord has been really pushing is the fruits of the Spirit. I'm like, okay, God, what are my fruits? I don't like to talk about people. I don't do that kind of thing. I try to show as much kindness, but I'm not a doormat. I'm not a pushover. I set boundaries. You know, sometimes I know for a fact I'm not a nice person, but I am a good person. You know? And the people that don't see me as nice are usually the ones that want me to bow to them, that want me to, for lack of a better word, like, be a doormat. But I'm sorry, I gotta say it how I feel it. I'm nobody's little bitch, okay? I'm not a doormat. I'm not a pushover. I'm not, how do I say this? These kids and stuff that they say, I'm not a golden retriever. I'm not, hi everybody. I'm just not anymore. You know, how do I say this? Life changes you, but don't let life change you. If you know what I mean. Don't let other people's, and I don't know how this turned into that. Don't let people's ugliness change your beauty, the beauty that God placed inside of you, the beauty within. Don't let whatever they think they're doing, whatever they think, like, I'm just gonna do this because you know you don't serve me, which is a very selfish thing to do, and you didn't do anything to those people, or that person and whatnot. Don't let their ugliness change the beauty that God has put inside of you. Don't let it. Because obviously it's their problem and not yours. And I am going to put it that way. That's their problem, not yours. So you just keeping on. I don't know how this turned into this. Like, I'm telling you my personal story. Wow. And this makes me want to cry because I have never been this open with y'all. I think it's really important at this point of my life. Not too open. But it's time. It's time. So I'm going to end this here. And I want to thank you. If you're watching this on YouTube, thank you for watching. And if you're watching tiny little snippets of this on Instagram, thank you for watching. I will be posting a lot of like food. Like, follow me on Instagram. Think Abundantly. I will be posting, food and workout and fitness and self-care, self-love stuff over there. As far as, endometriosis and self-image and, a lot of the stuff that I like over there. So if you're watching this, if you're watching this on YouTube, go into the description box below and go click on the Instagram, and I will, and don't forget to subscribe and share this video with any woman that you feel like needs to hear this. This is not a doom and gloom channel. This is a channel of hope. This is a channel of healing. I think you're gonna like it here. Okay? I'm not gonna sugarcoat anything to make everybody always just be happy either. But I'm not going to make it so depressing that there's just no hope, because with Jesus there is hope. Okay? And for the women that want children, that are dealing with endometriosis and whatnot, believe that you're a mother and you will be a mother. And I know that sounds super like spiritual and woo-woo, but if God says you're gonna be a mama, if God says you're gonna be a mother, okay, to I don't know how many babies, you will be, because God's word doesn't return to him void. And I'm gonna put the verses in the description box. This time I will do that. It shall be established. That's what I keep hearing. That's what keeps being dropped in my spirit. It shall be established. If God says you're going to be a wife and a mother, then that shall be established. Just believe it and it will happen, because he said so. Just keep walking this journey. You're going to make it. All right. I love you, ladies. You will still have a beautiful life. And I will talk to you all very, 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 very soon.